He buried the man they knew, and what rose in his place cannot be hurt. Epictetus. He died while still alive, and that's why nothing scares him. They say fear is natural. That it's human to flinch, to hesitate, to doubt. But there are men who do not fear anymore. Not because they were born brave, but because they died early. Not in flesh, but in identity, in illusion, in everything soft that once begged to be protected. He was one of them. He did not become fearless by choice. He became fearless because everything he feared already happened. He lost. He was betrayed. He failed. He begged, and no one answered. He waited, and no one came. He broke, and no one noticed. And something inside him just stopped. Not his will, but the part that needed anything from the world. That part died. And he watched it burn. There was no one to grieve it. No one even saw it leave. But from that moment on, he walked differently. Calmer. Slower. Heavier. Because once the man inside dies, the one who remains is no longer a man in need. He is not driven by desire. He is not distracted by applause. He is not shaped by opinion. He moves like stone. Because he's already been fire. There is a kind of strength you only find on the other side of death. Not the death of the body, but the death of dependency. He does not flinch when you insult him, because his identity was already dismantled. He does not fear loss, because he has already buried everything he loved inside himself. He does not seek comfort, because he knows comfort is a rope around the neck of men who refuse to let go of what's killing them. He walked through the fire once and didn't come back the same. The world tries to tempt him again, with softness, with noise, with praise. But he just stares. Not cold, just beyond it all. Because when you die inside and choose to stay, you become something else. Unburnable, untouchable, unshakable. Seneca said, "A man who has learned to die has unlearned how to be a slave." He understands this now. Because most men are slaves. Not to chains, but to the fear of losing who they think they are. He lost it all. And now he fears nothing. He buried the boy. He killed the need. He shed the skin of hope. And in its place, he carved something harder. He doesn't smile the same. Not because he's bitter, but because joy is no longer tied to what the world gives. He doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He doesn't flinch. Because the worst already happened. And he's still standing. That changes a man. Most people are half dead. Numb from distraction. Afraid of stillness. Terrified of letting go. But he is fully dead, and fully alive. Because he faced the thing that haunts everyone. And didn't look away. He didn't escape the pain. He sat in it. He let it break. Everything falls. Everything weak. Everything emotional. And what survived was the truth. Now he walks alone. Not because he's antisocial, but because no one walks this far into the fire. They watch him from a distance and say, "Something about him is different." They're right. It's not confidence. It's not charisma. It's not strength. It's absence. The absence of fear. The absence of want. The absence of the boy who used to scream for someone to save him. That silence they feel when he enters. That's what death leaves behind. He doesn't speak much. Because most things aren't worth saying. He doesn't react. Because most things aren't worth noticing. He watches. He calculates. And when he moves with total conviction. Because when you've died before, you don't move to avoid death. You move with it, behind you. And the world can feel it. They tell men to be fearless. To be powerful. But they don't tell them how. This is how. Let go of everything you thought you needed. Let it burn. Let it kill you. And then walk out of the fire empty, but free. Because until you die to who you were, You will never become what you're meant to be. He died without ceremony. No one saw the night it happened. No one knew he was mourning. No one felt the cold silence that wrapped around his ribs and told him, "You're on your own now." But that night became his birth. And everything since has been pure. Brutal, but pure. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And how do you master yourself? By killing everything that controls you. Expectations, emotion, hope, especially hope. Because hope is the rope they tie around your neck. While calling it salvation, he no longer hopes. He accepts. He acts. And if the world doesn't yield, he endures. Not because he enjoys pain, but because it means nothing to him anymore. Pain is just noise. And he already made peace with silence. He died while still alive. And that's why nothing scares him. Because when you've already let go of everything, there's nothing left to take. Now he walks like a shadow through the world. Not unseen, but untouched. Because nothing holds him anymore. Not people. Not past. Not even hope. And that's why he moves with calm. Because everything that used to scream inside him is already dead. They wonder why he doesn't react. Why he doesn't chase. Why he doesn't reach for what others died to hold. It's simple. He doesn't want what they want. He doesn't fear what they fear. Because he already lost it all. And stood up anyway. What do you threaten a man with? When he's already let go of everything you could take? They think he's fearless. But that's not it. He's not fearless. He's finished. Finished with illusions. Finished with waiting. Finished with pretending there's anything left to prove. He does not live to be seen. He lives to be true. And the truth is quiet. It doesn't need to speak. It doesn't need to fight. It doesn't need to win. It just stands. While the rest of the world shakes. There's no applause for men like him. No cheers. No spotlight. Only silence. And that's what makes him unstoppable. Because you can't manipulate a man who does not crave noise. You can't bend a man who has already burned the part of himself that wanted to belong. He walks into the storm. Not because he enjoys suffering, but because storms no longer mean anything to him. He's been through worse. He's been through the storm inside. The one no one else saw. And once you've survived your own fire, the world's chaos becomes background noise. He does not brace anymore. He does not prepare. He just moves. Straight into it. Because the man who has nothing left to fear doesn't hesitate. They ask, "Why are you so calm?" He doesn't answer. Not because he's arrogant, but because there's no language for this kind of peace. This kind of peace isn't soft. It's not comforting. It's not gentle. It's forged. It's earned. It's what's left. After every fragile piece of you has died. And only what's eternal remains. He is not trying to win. He is not trying to rise. He is not trying to escape. He simply is. And in a world full of people trying to become something, the man who already let everything die is the only one who's free. He doesn't look back. Because there's nothing back there. No home. No former self. Only ashes. And from those ashes, he builds structure, order, discipline. Not as a defense, but as a creed. He wakes not because he wants to, but because it's what must be done. He trains not because he needs strength, but because it's his law. He speaks not to be heard, but to align his tongue with what's real. This is what's left of a man. After the ego dies. Just rhythm. Just truth. Just action, without attachment. He needs nothing. Fears nothing. Begins again, every single day. Not as rebirth, but as war. Because life will try to give back what he already rejected. Comfort, attention, praise. But he has no use for it. He didn't kill himself to become soft again. Seneca wrote. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. But he has reversed that. He lives like a dying man, but fears like one who can't be touched. Because when you die inside and stay alive, time becomes your servant, not your master. He is urgent, but not rushed. Precise, but not obsessed. Present, but never reactive. Because time cannot break what death already purified. They see scars. He sees symbols. They see solitude. He sees sanctuary. They see silence. He sees power. Because what they fear, he has already accepted. What they run from, he walked through. And what destroyed others, built him. He is not here to be understood. He is here to endure, to observe, to build in the dust what others lost in luxury. His hands are steady, because they no longer tremble to hold the world. They build only what lasts. They destroy only what lies. They carry only what matters, and nothing else. You cannot break a man who has already broken himself. You cannot seduce him if he has already buried desire. You cannot threaten him if he has already died. And you cannot lead him because he has become his own law. He wakes in silence, moves in silence, leads in silence, because silence is the sound of self-mastery. He watches men run toward applause, toward comfort, toward relief. And he knows what they haven't yet learned. Until you die to what you crave, you will never be free. There is no drama in him, no friction, only fire under control. He is dangerous, not because he strikes first, but because he never needs to strike at all. He is calm, not because he avoids pain, but because he has sat in pain until it lost its name. He is silent, not because he hides, but because he has nothing left to say, only to do, only to be, only to carry. He does not fear loss, because he is loss. He does not fear death, because he already died. He does not fear failure, because what he built within can't be touched from without. This is not resilience. It's rebirth. Not hope, but unshakable clarity. He died while still alive. And now he moves like a ghost with a spine of stone. Not a man of emotion. Not a man of reaction. A man of weight. A man of law. A man of will. So when they ask, what happened to him? Say this: he buried who he was, to become what cannot be broken. And when they ask, where is he going? Say nothing, because the man who has already died no longer explains. He just walks, and the earth does not dare move beneath his feet.